And in this moment, know that you are in a safe place. And let go of the day and feel the love. Feel the joy of being here, of being in community. And as we start the meditation, just know that when you hear the little sound of twinkle, the meditation is over. So today I'm going to play you a prayer by Unity's Poet Laureate, James Dillett Freeman. So just allow yourself to relax in the chair and let go, and allow the words of James Dillett Freeman to know the presence within.
Do you need me? I am there. You cannot see me, yet I am the light you see by. You cannot hear me, yet I speak through your voice. You cannot feel me, yet I am the power at work in your hands. I am at work, though you do not understand my ways. I am at work, though you do not recognize my works. I am not strange visions, I am not mysteries. Only in absolute stillness, beyond self, can you know me as I am, and then but as a feeling and a faith. Yet I am there, yet I hear, yet I answer. When you need me, I am there. Even if you deny me, I am there. Even when you feel most alone, I am there. Even in your fears, I am there. Even in your pain, I am there. I am there when you pray and when you do not pray. I am in you, and you are in me. Only in your mind can you feel separate from me, for only in your mind are the mists of yours and mine. Yet only with your mind can you know me and experience me. Empty your heart of empty fears. When you get yourself out of the way, I am there. You can of yourself do nothing, but I can do all, and I am in all. Though you may not see the good, good is there, for I am there. I am there because I have to be, because I am. Only in me does the world have meaning. Only out of me does the world take form. Only because of me does the world go forward. I am the law on which the movement of the stars and the growth of living cells are founded. I am the love that is the law's fulfilling. I am assurance. I am peace. I am oneness. I am the law that you can live by. I am the love that you can cling to. I am your assurance. I am your peace. I am one with you. I am. Though you fail to find me, I do not fail you. Though your faith in me is unsure, my faith in you never wavers. Because I know you, because I love you, beloved, I am there.
Gently return and know that you are loved, you are blessed, and you are never alone. Thank you for coming.
monks, everybody. Can we give them some love? Good morning, everybody. Welcome. It is officially the end of summer, yes? School started for kids, right? I mean, that's kind of the sign, right? I know we're in the middle of August, but school started for the kids. So in some ways, there's a change in the air that's happening. So welcome everyone. I'm Rev DeeAnn Morency. I am the senior minister here at Unity in Marin, and it is my joy to be here with you this morning. Wherever you might be in your process, whatever might be alive for you, whatever might be up for you, there's space for that to be here. So if you are having one of those amazing days, welcome. And if you are perhaps feeling a little heart sore, welcome. We are a spaciousness here at Unity. If you're new, we're just so glad that you decided to come join us. If you're live streaming with us, it is great to have you. I'm a little jealous for those of you who are sitting at home with your coffee and your PJs. And we have some folks coming in the doors. Come on in. It's so good to see you guys. Oh, Unity is a powerful, powerful teaching, but it's also a movement. It's a movement of love. It's a movement that is committed to being a beneficial presence on this planet, and that we come together so that we can show up in our authenticity, and that we are being met and held and recognized as the divinity that we actually are. So, there is so much that is going on in this world, and there is so much that might be going on in your own personal world. And this is a space that we can come together to navigate it together. I like to call it creating that sacred circle of medicine. And each one of you has medicine for everyone else that's here. And so your presence, your showing up, your yes, actually makes a profound difference to each other, and then that ripples outward into the world. And that's really what we believe here, that we are here to make a difference in the world. So, masking-wise, making a difference in this world as we navigate this pandemic, endemic, which one is it? Do we actually know any longer? If you are vaccinated, you are free to choose whether you are masked or unmasked. And if you are unvaccinated, we are following county and health guidelines, and we do ask that you mask yourself. This is always a moving target, so I'm just going to invite everybody to just breathe with us all as we keep folks safe. There are some folks with some autoimmune stuff, and we want everybody to feel safe coming to this space. We do have a simulcast outside in the courtyard, so if you don't want to be inside, but you do want to be on grounds, you can absolutely come join us. The courtyard is beautiful this time of year. So we have flowers that have been put together for us by Sarah Gaspari, back from vacation. Welcome back. And she's like, no, not me. So we don't know who did the flowers, but they're beautiful. And the dedication is from Claire Grinzel. It's honoring her parents, all the parents, Rosemarie, Paul, Ellen, Cliff, and Aunt Doris. And so we just open our hearts to that, right? That truly all is well with our soul. It may not feel well with our humanness, but there is that space that is grounded. If you'd like to sponsor flowers, or if you'd like to sponsor the hospitality that we have outside in the courtyard after service, you can see Charcelle. She would be more than happy to sign you up. We do have a way to stay in touch through text in church, so if you're new and you want to be part of the getting messages from me, it's 415-991-7111, and you text welcome to that, and it'll put you in the loop. And I basically send you an email every week, text every week, just reminding you Sunday service is coming, and if we have a special announcement, it will be announced there. We do have a virtual courtyard, so if you're watching online, or if anyone here wants to go home and join the virtual courtyard, that will be at 1 o'clock today. You can join it. It's a Zoom link, and it is on our website on the live stream page. So we are blessed today to have a very, very, very special musical guest with us. Dallas Kraft is back, so if we could give her some love, we're going to invite her up here right now for our first song, Leap of Faith.
Okay, heart, now what? Now that you brought me here, out on this ledge, no turning back. The road ahead has just disappeared. You're always testing me, must be my destiny. You seem to know that times like these bring out the best in me. 'Cause here I go one more time, letting go one more time. I'm either flying or falling to my fate. One more chance, one more toss, one more dance, one more cross, one more leap of faith. Okay, heart, I'll jump. I've learned to trust you by now, though I never know where I'm gonna land. I know you're always guiding me somehow. This ain't no thinking trip, no time to get a grip. Yeah, I'll just lean out in the wind and let my fingers slip. Here I go one more time, letting go one more time. I'm either flying or falling to my fate. One more chance, one more toss, one more dance, one more cross, one more leap of faith. And who knows what lies ahead, how the story will be read at the end of the day. And who knows the pain I'll feel, who I might find and love along the way. Here I go one more time, letting go one more time. I'm either flying or falling to my fate. One more chance, one more toss, one more dance, one more cross, one more time I'll take. One more leap of faith.
Dallas Craft, everybody. So it's time to center ourselves in our opening prayer. I'm going to invite the prayer chaplains to rise, to encircle the room. I'm going to invite Wendy Miley to come forward and help me anchor this sacred space together. And the invitation right now is just that we're opening our heart and we're quieting our minds. And whatever it took for us to get here, we're just letting that go. And whatever might be coming after we are done here, we're letting that fall away as well. We're allowing the breath to breathe us. As we quiet the mind and open the heart, as we step into a space of willingness, willing to be open. recognizing the one power and the one presence that is all that there is, that is my life, that is your life, because it is all life. So there is no outside of that love and that light and that grace and that joy and that beauty and that harmony. It is the very essence of beingness, revealing itself as each one of us. We are the very hands, the very voice, the very livingness, the beingness in time and in space of love, of abundance, of strength, of compassion. And so I invite you to just lay down whatever you're carrying in this moment. Whatever might be heavy in your heart, whatever might be alive in your thoughts. And just in this moment, set it into this spacious container that we are creating through our intention, through our attention. Whatever the joys and concerns may be, just knowing that they are held in this sacred field. So I see health and vitality for all who are seeking it. I see abundance and overflow. I see inspiration and vision, and I see clarity of purpose. I know that as we say yes to being that which we truly are, the living expression of a living love, that a way is made out of seeming no way. So love is, grace is, compassion is right now palpably present. How grateful I am for this opportunity to be still and know. And that into this space, everything that is seeking to be healed, to be heard, to be acknowledged, to be held is right now. And I invite you to take that surety, to take that clarity, and just see it radiating outward from this space and place and time, outward into the world. And just feeling how peace is blanketing this planet. How good it is truly to come together in sacred yes. In gratitude for this and so much more, I release it all right here, right now, knowing it's done. Knowing peace is, love is, joy is. And in agreement, we all say, and so it is. Amen. Ashe. Peace and blessings, everyone.
Thank you, Reverend DeeAnn. You inspire me and you bring joy to my heart. Prayer support. Unity in Marin is here to support you in prayer. We have in-person prayer requests, which you can put in our prayer box. You can visit us online, www.unitymarin.org, and you can call us the old-fashioned way. Your prayer will be held in confidence for 60 days. And it's an incredible experience, I know, of writing my own prayer request. I can feel the love and support and uplifting the minute I am writing my prayer request. So I encourage you to do that. Please join me in stating our mission. We are a spiritual community committed to authenticity and the expression of love and support for each other in living an awakened and enlightened life. As a spiritual community, we connect with spirit, inspiring each other, the community, and the world We grow in consciousness through education, healing, and prayer. We serve spirit, community, and the world with love, joy, and a sense of adventure.
Here to be. Who have I come here to be? Can I reveal the truth inside where God resides so I can begin to heal? Who have you come here to be? How do I reveal the truth inside where God resides so I can begin to heal? Who have we come here to be? How do we reveal the truth inside where God resides so I can begin to heal? So we can begin to heal.
Please welcome to the platform Kim Jeong Dubanowitz.
Hello. Good morning. Hi. Today we are doing a reading on embracing shadow. Today's affirmation is I embrace the darkness with the light of truth. It is now time for, it's a time to let these words become part of your morning reflection, your morning meditation or prayer. I invite you in this moment to take a deep breath and to pause, to close your eyes if you wish. I invite you to let these words become your words. The affirmation for today is, again, I embrace the darkness with the light of truth. Someone lost at night and unequipped in an unknown forest may react with despair and fear. Shadows distort, and what in the light of day was a beautiful landscape is transformed in the darkness to something sinister and dangerous. In the same way, I may feel fearful today based on a perception of danger, perhaps from my past, and react in ways that can cause suffering within myself and others. When I see myself reacting, I stop and breathe mindfully. I open to the divine wisdom within me, within that I may see through the light of truth. I affirm there is only one power and one presence. It is my life. It is all of life. It is the only truth. Anchored in this awareness, I kindle the light of clarity in my mind. I bring new understanding to my perceptions of the past. I release anger, blame, and resentment, and stop reacting from pain. As the sun dawns on my dark forest, the light of truth transforms my life. And now let us take this into a time of silence. Once again, the affirmation for today is, I embrace the darkness with the light of truth. Please repeat this with me. I embrace the darkness with the light of truth.
I'm gonna come to your window, knock upon your pane, stand out in the moonlight and call your name. Turn your television off, it's just showbiz. Step out here with me where the real show is, and it's a great big world. Life down here on earth. Well, let me introduce you to my carnival of friends. They come from all four corners on all four winds. Thieves up in the castle, kings out in the rain, saints in the trenches, they're fighting for a change. And it's a great big world, life down here on earth. Baby, take a mad dash with me. We're gonna give it all it's worth. Well, come down from your tower, there's so much here to see. Life down here on earth. We got headlights on the highway, stars up in the sky, a twinkle in my eyes. Don't you wanna know why? I killed a lot of time, that was my greatest sin. But I forgave myself and I'm alive again. And it's a great big world, life down here on earth. Oh yeah, well you know, there's gonna be 2 dates on your tombstone. All your friends will read them, but all that's gonna matter is that little dash between them. Yes, it's a great big world, life down here on earth. Yes, it's a greater world, life down here on earth.
Thank you.
You guys make me so happy. Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Whew, it is a great big world, huh? And it is all about right now, as we are in these body forms, it's all about life here on earth. But we're also trying to stay in touch with something that's larger than just that. And there's this tension. I don't know. I have that tension. Do you guys have that tension? Between the awareness of something larger than ourselves, and you can call it whatever you want. You can call it God, you can call it Allah, you can call it Buddha, you can call it science. It is that there is something larger than just who we are. And in that space, how do we dance between the truth of who we are, which is that we're larger than our human understanding, and yet we are living life down here on Earth? And we've been talking this month about shadow. We've been talking because the quantum living class has been moving through. They're in their final week, so we're gonna wrap this series up next Sunday. But we have been diving into the things that we don't want to acknowledge about ourselves and being willing to take a look at what they are so that we can heal them and perhaps be able to show up in the world in a different way. And so shadow in and of itself is the parts of ourselves that we've disowned about ourselves. It's the part that we've said, oh, no, 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 I am not that. Whatever it is that we've decided is bad and horrible, we do not want to be the monster that is reflected up on the back of the wall. We don't want anybody to see that we actually believe that we're the monster. We're pretending a lot. We're covering it up. We have all these magnificent coping strategies to try to help us keep it secret that there's parts of ourselves that we're really unhappy with. And so one of the main coping mechanisms that we have is projection. So I'm uncomfortable with it with myself, so I'm gonna say, nope, not me, and what I do is I project it out there on the world all around me. And so that's why we continually get to meet and interact with the most annoying people on the planet. Continually, over and over and over again. We're like, what? That person is working my last nerve. And notice how they always keep showing up and they're the same kind of person? The same kind of thing? Yeah, because I gotta tell you, take a breath. It's not really them. It's you projecting onto them. That's the pattern. You are the constant. Right? So we forget who we truly are. We forget that who we actually are is this living expression of all that there is, that available to each of us is this infinite resource of love, light, power, strength, beauty, harmony, that is the truth of actually who we have come here to be. And yet, most of the time, we're showing up in who we haven't come here to be. Because we're protecting ourselves. We're trying to keep ourselves safe. And that's particularly true when we come across the hard times. I don't know about you, but the past couple weeks have been a little intense. Anyone else feel like they're being pulled by the storm? Right? And sometimes we just feel like we're being drenched by the storm. And it's in these moments, and I talked about this last week, that this is really about transition and change. This is about our resistance to transition and change. And this community is in a lot of transition right now, right? We've got a lot going on internally, but we also are existing in a world that is in the midst of incredible transition and change. And we can't pretend, because this is what the shadow wants us to do. The shadow says, no, 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 don't look over there. Don't look over there. It makes us uncomfortable. So we brought in a transitional consultant who's going to be working with the community, and I know some of you met her for the listening circles yesterday, and there are more listening circles available, so if you want to sign up, you can find information on our website. Reverend Cynthia wants to hear from all of us. But some people might be struggling with the leadership change and with my stepping into leadership. Some of you are not. But what we are all struggling with is the fact that how do we navigate as a spiritual community in a post-COVID world that isn't actually post-COVID? Right? Okay? How do we navigate as a spiritual community in a post-COVID world when it's not actually really post-COVID? So all of the old models around spiritual community have been dying for about a decade. COVID sped it up rapidly. So this opportunity of transition is an opportunity for us as a community to come together and discover who do we want to be in 2023? Who do we want to be? How do we want to show up in the world? And that's what we personally are continually being invited into. always. Who do we want to be? And when we resist transition, when we resist change, all we end up doing is increasing our own suffering. So why is transition and change so hard? Well, quantum living is broken down that we have some fundamental needs. And if those fundamental needs are threatened or not met, guess what? We get reactive. And those fundamental needs are our sense of safety and security. They are our sense of love and connection. They're our sense of worthiness, our sense of abundance, and then that sense of empowerment. And if any of these things are threatened, our sense of safety and security because there's a change in leadership, because COVID is around, it makes us feel unsafe, then all of a sudden, we are probably most likely not working from our highest self as to who we have come here to be, but we are operating from the part of ourselves that is caught up in fear and anxiety and worry because those needs are not being met. And we want the world to meet those needs, and the world is saying, nope, sorry, not going to happen. And we get angry. And we get frustrated, and we get irritated, and we get divided. We get polarity showing up in our world. Do you think that we live in a world of polarities right now? Whew. All of this is actually shadow. So when we can actually meet our own needs, when we meet our own needs, then we can stand, and here's the picture that I used last week, right? That we are actually the lighthouse in the midst of the storm, and you see the little guy hanging out there, right? It's like, this is cool, I'm good, I can handle this. I don't have to hide from the waves, I don't have to hide from the storm. I actually know who I am in the root of my root so that I can withstand whatever storms are happening in our life. That is what we know and believe in unity. And it is our capacity to grow this that enables us to show up as a beneficial presence for other people. You know that on the airlines, like put your mask on first before you put it on for the kids? The same thing is true here. If we have to first figure out how to navigate our own not getting our needs met and the reactiveness that arises before we can actually show up and truly be a beneficial presence for the world. So projection, right, which is how most of us navigate our shadow, that idea that we're putting it out there because it makes us too uncomfortable right here, shows up in a variety of ways. And you may recognize some of these, right? We're criticizing people. Anybody in here guilty of that? Judging people. Why are they doing it that way? That's just so weird. Okay. Blaming people. If they had only done it the way I told them to do it, then everything would be okay right now. Anger, right? Why can't they just listen to me? If I ruled the world. We might get annoyed. We might find ourselves just being sensitive. Like, oh, I don't know. It's just really hard right now, right? I'm just, right? That feeling of like, I'm just hypersensitive right now. Maybe we are withdrawing. And this is really a classic one. It's like, especially in spiritual communities, because we value peace, we value harmony, we value a sense of equanimity and calm. And so the number one coping strategy that spiritual communities will often use to avoid the uncomfortable is to just step back from it, to withdraw. But the thing is, when you withdraw like that, you may have a momentary sense of relief, but you're not actually healing the false belief that somehow you can't meet your own need. You're not actually healing yourself. You're just staying right where you are. The opportunity in projection and noticing it is that you can then shift yourself. You can heal yourself. Wouldn't it be wonderful to be able to drive down the freeway and not get irritated by crazy drivers? Just think about what that would mean for you, right? Let alone what it means in terms of everything else. When we're willing to let go of the story that we have built up about how people are just wrong and we are right, when we are willing to let that go, true healing is absolutely possible. Now, one of the main things that gets in our way from all of this is our pride, right? Because we want to be the strong, independent, lovely, compatible, competent person that we know we could be. And even when we aren't that, we don't want to admit to ourselves, wow, I really screwed that up, right? So our pride can be one of the number one obstacles to actually being willing to step into this space of deep transformation. So Carl Jung says, through pride, we are ever deceiving ourselves. But deep down below the surface, a still small voice says to us, something is out of tune. So even when we are avoiding and withdrawing and blaming and justifying and using all of our various coping strategies, there is a part of us that knows that there's something else available to us. So the way most of us see ourselves in the world is, I found this image, it's an art exhibit that I came across this picture and I just thought, oh, this is so what happens in the shadow. We think that we are these broken pieces. We think that we are these broken, scattered pieces of twisted, torqued metal based on our life experiences, based on our traumas, based on our stories, based on the things that we didn't get, based on all of what we think is wrong with us. And yet, if we can just stand in the right way and we can line ourselves up and get that light focused just the right way, it looks to the world like we are a whole human. And this is what we spend all our energy doing, trying to find that angle of light so that no matter how people are looking at us, they see something that looks as if we have it all together. Well, what if we actually don't have it all together? Is that okay? I mean, really? It's often okay for other people to not have it together, but it's very often not okay that I don't have it together. Other people, oh, I can have compassion for them. But can we actually have compassion for ourselves as we are navigating life, right? Being on earth, can we actually hold compassion for ourselves? So how do we shift this? Right? How do we move out of this idea of brokenness? Because this is what unity believes, is that at our heart of our heart, there are no mistakes. You are not broken. There is nothing inherently wrong with you. We do not believe in original sin. We do not believe that there is anything about you other than the truth of your wholeness. And that our journey here on this planet is to reveal that wholeness. That's what we're here to be, to learn how to do in time and in space. And so I've been doing a lot of research. Joe Dispenza, I love the science stuff, you guys, you know that, right? So I've been working with some of the Joe Dispenza stuff, and there is so much just going on with our brains. Right? There is so much going on with our brains. And so I'm going to give you guys a brief overview of how we can consciously become aware of what's available to us, scientifically based, right? So when we are, like right now, I am using what they would call my beta waves. I am speaking, I am engaged, I have a logical, rational sort of problem-solving component that's happening in my brain right now. Beta waves are how most of us show up in the world when we are focused on a task, when we are trying to accomplish something. The thing about beta waves is that they grow as we get older. Isn't that depressing? Right? In some ways, right? They're linked to our logical, rational self. And as we get older, we develop more and more and more and more beta waves when they measure them. The next set of waves that move at a slower rate than the beta waves are the fastest waves, are the alpha waves. Now, alpha waves are what we enter into when we're meditating. Alpha waves are that space where we daydream. Alpha waves are that place where we have a soft focus and we're relaxed a little bit, right? And then the one past alpha would be the theta waves, and that's even slower still. And theta is, if anybody in here has ever had hypnosis, they're working in theta. They're working where your body is completely relaxed and you are actually in this place. Theta is believed to be the bridge between our conscious and our unconscious mind. So we enter theta right before we fall asleep. Like as we're falling asleep, we go through these brain waves. We start off in beta, we move into alpha, we then step into theta, and as we actually drop into sleep, that's when we enter into delta, right? So delta is where we recoup and we recover. Theta is where we are actually have available to us our capacity to vision and to imagine and to communicate with our intuition. So what happens when we are in the world and we are caught up in our reactivity is, guess what brainwave we're operating from? Beta. That's right. We are caught in beta. We are caught in this idea that we have a problem to solve, or life is about a problem that we need to fix. And as we grow older, that becomes more and more and more and more habitual. But the truth is, as Einstein so famously said, is we cannot solve a problem from the same consciousness that created it. So no matter how much we want to bring our intellect and our logic and our rationale to whatever it is that's going on in our lives, if we come at it from only with the beta waves, if we come at it from only using that understanding of who we are just going to find ourselves in a loop. Has anybody ever experienced that? Or you think, oh, that's healed, and then whoop, there it is. And it comes right back around again. Now, I do want to say that we never stay in a circle. Think of it as a spiral, right? So there is always some sort of movement. There's always some sort of transformation. But what we're interested in this quantum living process is breaking the spiral open completely, so that we aren't circling around ourselves in the same way anymore. So the big question is moving from beta state, which is all about problem solving, into the alpha state. And in spiritual language, we would call the alpha state witness consciousness or observer consciousness. And this is where the thing that is so present for us right here, that we actually are able to give it some distance. We're actually able to pan back. I love the movie Image, because that's what we're doing with spiritual principle over and over and over again, is we get sort of focused on one thing and we think that that's the only thing that is actually happening. I talked about this a couple weeks ago. It's called the ladder of inference, right? What it is that we're looking for is the thing that our brain is going to actually see. We actually create a self-fulfilling prophecy for ourselves. So I want to see the proof that the world is against me. And so my brain is literally processing all that data, and it is choosing from that what supports my belief that the world is against me. And I am ignoring and missing all the ways that the world is actually for me. So that's beta. That's the beta waves. We become single-minded. We become so absorbed in what we think is happening that we shut ourselves off from what else is possible. When we allow ourselves to build a meditation practice, when we allow ourselves to step into affirmative prayer, what we are doing is we are saying, I am willing to back off from what I think is true. I am willing to acknowledge that there's something else happening here. I am willing to acknowledge that I really don't know. Now we're back to pride. Remember pride? It's really hard to say I don't know. It's really hard to say, nope, I don't know. I had an interaction with someone this week, and irate, irritated, but grounded and like purposeful, and this is what I want to see happen, and what do you think? And I was so proud of myself because what I said was, I don't know. I don't know enough about this. I am not the person who has the information to be able to answer this for you. I'm glad you brought me data so that I can study it and I can grow in this, but I actually don't know. It was so freeing to be able to admit, I don't know this. To not have to pretend, to think that I'm supposed to know this. So if we're willing to let go and not hold on to things so tightly, not hold on to our story so tightly, that's when we are welcoming the opportunity for deep healing. So in the quantum living class this week, the quantum living folks are working with the past. They're working with how our past feels like it's against us. Can anybody in here relate to that? That something happened in our past, and if it hadn't been for that, everything in my world would be fabulous. And part of what we believe in unity is that there are no mistakes. Right? There are no mistakes. So I was 26 years old. I was roller skating in Golden Gate Park. I fell going down a hill, and I broke my back. And for 10 years, well, I lived in chronic pain for 7 years, right? For 10 years, I kept seeing myself at that moment at the top of the hill where I thought, wow, that looks really steep. And I went for it. And I kept reliving that moment and thinking, if only, when I thought, that looks really steep, I had thought, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that because that's really steep. But then I realized that I wouldn't be who I am today without that experience. That experience opened me up to meditation because I needed to manage the pain. That experience opened me up to spiritual teachings. That experience started me on a path of being a seeker because the medical profession wanted to cut me open and put metal rods in my spine and do all sorts of things that I was just like, give me a minute there, right? I said to the doctor, I can always put the metal rod in my spine. Can I try my way first and let's see what happens? And here I am, right? No metal rods in my spine. But I was willing to let go of this idea that it was a mistake. It wasn't a mistake. It really wasn't. I've actually truly come to know that if I could go back in time, go back in time, and I could tell my younger self, don't go down the hill, I wouldn't tell her that. Because I was not happy. I was not on the path to living a joyful, fulfilled life back then. It was part of my journey, was in that process of experiencing what I experienced when I broke my back. I wouldn't trade that for the world. I do a lot of pastoral care, and I can't tell you the number of cancer patients who have said to me, this has been the greatest gift of my life. And meant it. What if there are no mistakes? What if you were exactly where you were meant to be? What if everything is working together for your greatest good, even those stories from your past? Who would you be if you actually embraced those stories instead of fighting them so much, instead of trying to problem solve them? So, all of this is to say that you cannot step into any of this work from your head, right? It's not head work. It's not intellectual work. It is heart-centered work. It is about moving from the heart. It is about aligning yourself with your deepest intuition. It is about aligning yourself with the feelings. We do a lot of work with feelings in quantum living, and there's lists of feelings. And I got to tell you, people love the lists of feelings because there are so many feelings, and most of us only know happy, sad, mad, glad, maybe annoyed, right? Irritated, maybe irked. That's a good one, right? Irked. But there's lists of feelings, and you get to become nuanced and identifying, oh, the difference between annoyed and irked. I know what that feels like within myself. The difference between outraged and enraged. Right? There's all these subtle nuances that are available to us that if we're willing to discover who we truly are, it just continues to unfold and moves us in completely new directions. So Carl Jung, again, so the shadow work, I do a lot of Carl Jung quotes. I promise he won't be everywhere going forward, but he is sort of the shadow master, right? Your vision will become clear only when you look into your heart. Who looks outside dreams, who looks inside awakens. And that is what everything that we do at Unity is about. To be willing to look inside. Now, I know we've been focusing a lot on, we've been talking about how the shadow is the parts of yourself that you have disowned, right? And we've been focusing a lot on those being the negative things, your anger, your insecurities, your unworthiness, your sense that you might be unlovable, right? We've been focusing on all of that. And the way we know that those are shadows for us is, and this is very AA, right? If you spot it, you got it. So if you can look out and you can name what someone is being or doing, they are being such a jerk. Guess what? You can be such a jerk too, right? If you can name it, it's yours. If you can spot it, you got it. And this can make us very uncomfortable. But there's also all those parts of ourselves that we have decided, for whatever reason, because we were told, because society told us so, that we are actually cutting ourselves off from, that are actually such gifts. So take a look at this list. How many times have you said, oh my God, that person is so beautiful? Oh, not me, not like me. No, that person's really beautiful. That person is really smart. That person is really engaging. That person is so dynamic. If you can spot it, you got it. So we call this the golden shadow. These are the aspects of yourself that are actually huge gifts that you are also projecting out into the world, that you're actually seeing on other people, that you're not actually owning and recalling and claiming as your own. So shadow work isn't all just about the dark side. There's as much in the shadow work that is also about the light. So Marianne Williamson has famously said that our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. And that's what I want to invite everyone into this week. Can you look out there for the way that you project the light, the way that you put all the good that you are out there? What do you see? What do you notice out there? And can you actually say, oh, I spotted it. That means I got it. And what does that feel like to actually own the light that you truly are? And notice the resistance. Notice the stories that want to come up, right? Notice what you start to hear. But the truth is that if you spotted it, you got it. So remember that first art exhibit I showed you with the pieces of metal and trying to create wholeness? So I'm inviting you to use this as where we're living from. So that whatever those disparate pieces of ourselves are that we think are separate, that they're actually beautiful. They're actually magnificent. And that they are coming together to create this beautiful, beautiful landscape that is you. And it moves and it shifts, because if a breeze came along, what would happen to that image? It's not static. It's not fixed. It has flow. It has movement. I'm going to close with The Guest House by Rumi. which I think speaks really perfectly to what we're speaking to today about the darkness and the light. This being human is a guest house. Every morning, a new arrival, a joy, a depression, a meanness. Some momentary awareness comes as an unexpected visitor. Welcome and entertain them all. Even if they're a crowd of sorrows who violently sweep your house empty of its furniture, still treat each guest honorably. He may be clearing you out for some new delight. The dark thought, the shame, the malice, meet them at the door laughing and invite them in. Be grateful for whoever comes, because each has been sent as a guide from beyond. So what if we lived our life from that? Welcoming everything in. Who would we be? We wouldn't feel separate, would we? Because we'd welcome it all. The joys and the sorrows, we'd welcome all of it. And we are the lighthouse, so we know that we have all that we need to navigate that. Look around at each other. We have each other, right? We can lean on each other. We're not alone in any of this. So our affirmations for today: I am willing to be an open guest house. I welcome the sorrows, and I welcome the joys. And I know that I can navigate the dark with the light of the truth of my being. And so it is. Amen.
You can play the game, you can act out the part, even though it wasn't written for you. Tell me, how can you stand there with your broken heart, shame to playing a fool? One thing can lead to another. It doesn't take any sacrifice. Oh, father and mother, sister and brother, if it feels right, don't think twice. Just shower the people you love with love. Show them the way you feel. It's gonna work out fine if you only will. Listen what I say. Shower the people you love with love. Show them the way that you feel. Things are gonna be much better if you only will. Well, you can run, but you cannot hide. This is widely known. What you gonna do when you punish pride, when you're all by yourself alone? Once you tell somebody the way you feel, you can feel it beginning to ease. I think it's true what they say about the squeaky wheel, always getting the grease. Much better to shower the people you love with love. Show them the way you feel. Things are gonna work out fine if you only will. Listen what I say and shower the people you love with love. Show them the way that you feel. Things are gonna be much better if you only will. on, sing it with me. Come on, shower the people you love with love. Show them the way you feel. Shower the people you love with love. Show them the way you feel. They say in every life, you know the rain will fall, just like the falling down, pouring rain. Make it rain. Hey, 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 make it rain. Sun, 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 sun showers. Make it rain. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And everybody, ooh, you know somebody's gotta love somebody. Oh, sun showers, yeah, yeah, yeah. Things are gonna work out fine if you only will. Thank you.
Thank you, Dallas. Let's give her another round of applause. Yeah, show her some love. And now is the time for giving and receiving. The baskets are going to be coming around shortly. And I'd like to share with you why I give to Unity and Marin. I give because I have the opportunity to grow with all the excellent educational classes we have. And I'd like to thank Rev DeeAnn for bringing forth that in our community. And I also give because it's an opportunity for me to connect with my fellow members and people of our congregation that I love and adore. How to donate? You can go to our website, unitymarin.org.donate. You can text us, and you can do it the old-fashioned way. You can call us. And you can also mail your check to our office. And now I'd like to invite the ushers to come forward. Just as we give, so we receive. Richly we live in one golden weave. There is nothing that we can lack. We give from love. Love gives it back. Just as we give, so we receive. Richly we live in one golden weave. There is nothing that we can lack. We give from love. Love gives it back. Unity Marin welcomes our newcomers, and we invite you to stop in the foyer after the service and receive the gifts from us. And we also have some really good snacks also. So it's a time for snacking and also for fellowship. Reverend DeeAnn?
Okay, so you know how I'm a nice Jewish girl from New York? And food is really important to me, right? It's a way that we connect. It's a way that we actually get to gather together, right? And I have said this, and you're going to hear it again. Communities that eat together thrive together, right? That is just the truth of it, right? If we eat together, we thrive together. So what I'm putting forward that we start in September is that, and staff will be circulating during hospitality to see if anybody's interested in signing up. We'd like to have people just bringing food for hospitality. You don't have to bring a lot. You just need to bring a small thing to bring for food. What I'd like is if maybe 4 or 5 people agreed on one Sunday of the month that they would sort of be the baseline, that we knew that there would be something showing up that Sunday, and then everybody is welcome to bring whenever they want. Right? So that we can begin to develop that space, that place where we get to come together. This came to me because I watched us at my installation and at Tim's last Aloha Sunday, and we had all that food and people were gathering, and it was really wonderful. People really had a wonderful time. And there's no reason why we can't make that happen on Sundays, every Sunday after service, and really have an opportunity to connect with each other. So that's the plan. I'm actually looking to hire somebody who will just help out with hospitality on Sunday mornings, right? So it can't be a community member because you need to be here in service. But we will have somebody who will take your food from you, and they can heat it up and they can set it out and they can make it all look pretty, right? So that's the plan. So the idea is I need to see if the community is excited by this or not. So if it's, oh, okay, that's good. I love it. That's great. So we just need people to say, you know, on the first Sunday of every month, I know for sure I will bring something. And then if you want to bring something on the second or the third, be my guest, right? But we just want to make sure that we have a baseline for folks so that there's always something, at least a little bit of something for folks to be able to share and connect with. So that's the hospitality thing. We're going to have sign-up sheets going around during hospitality. There might be some in the lobby too. Okay. Charcel, you can go to Charcel.
Great idea. Thank you. If you haven't already tried it, you may want to come out, and this Wednesday, August 24th at 7 p.m., we are having our monthly Unity in Marin prayer chaplain service. It's a wonderful time to go inward. It's meditative, it's contemplative. Please come and check it out. I promise you will enjoy it. And our guest speaker is our own Wendy Miley. Listening circles.
So I mentioned this during my talk. So Reverend Cynthia Vermillion Foster, she did the town hall meeting last Sunday. If you missed it, the link is on our website. It went out in the e-blast. You can catch up and find out more about who she is. We are looking for people who want to meet with her. So we're trying to get a sense of what's up for the community. Where are we? What's alive for folks? As we begin to assess what it is that we are going to be stepping into together for what I was talking about, this post-COVID that's not really post-COVID world, right? This requires your connection, your willingness. So if you feel yourself withdrawing, just notice that maybe that's a little reactivity, right? And that you're invited to have your voice be heard, even if you don't think you have a voice that's worth hearing. It is worth hearing, okay? So there's maybe 15 or 20 slots left on the sign-up sheet. She's meeting with people Tuesday, Saturday, and next week as well. So please do sign up if you haven't done so already.
Think again. Save the date. How many folks have already signed up for the book study program? Let's have a show of hands here. I signed up and I'm very excited about it. And what got me excited about it was the talk that Reverend DeeAnn did a couple weeks ago. It was in July. And if perchance you missed that, you can go to our YouTube channel, check it out. And we also have a podcast too. You can sign up. The sign-up sheets are in the courtyard, and you can also sign up online also. So please join our book study for the fall. For me, it's been a way to connect with people on a more intimate, personal level. So check it out. And now I'm going to have Shay come up and speak about his workshop, The Happy Mindset.
Sorry. Happy Sunday, church. Let's try that again. Happy Sunday, church. So, you know when Rev DeeAnn was showing that shadow? So actually, as an adult, I was diagnosed with ADHD, with ADD. I actually have 2 types. And one of the issues with that is actually time blindness. Sometimes I'll get in the zone and I will just not know. And so remember last week I told you that I was late? That was my confession. I was late again. But this time it was for 2 other reasons. One, I was fumbling with trying to put a Wayne Dyer CD into my car. And then the second was because of the fact that I stopped to smell the roses. Well, sort of. I saw a beautiful rose that was trying to get into the church, and I walked Gus into the sanctuary this morning. But the reason I'm sharing all of this is because even though I have this time blindness, for some reason, my body loves to wake up between 3 and 4 o'clock in the morning. Raise your hand if that happens to you. Does anyone have that happen to you? Hands up. That is when I noticed that Spirit speaks to me. And over a year ago, I had that happen. And it was related to time. And that is what I have in my book. There are 5 mindsets: past happiness, future happiness, present happiness, choice happiness, and beyond happiness. And what's really interesting was the fact that even though a year ago I downloaded the first 4, it wasn't until I got to Unity that beyond happiness occurred. And about 40% of this book was written actually in the meditation, that gazebo on our property. So it really means a lot to me that all of you guys prayed for me during this time. And please, if you do feel led to come next Sunday and join me, make sure you look at your watch, be on time, and I will too. Thank you.
Thank you, Shay. And you also have a best-selling book.
Yes.
Great. Okay, and that I'm sure is available in the bookstore. Okay. World Day of Prayer is coming up. And this year it falls on September 7th. It's a wonderful opportunity to connect with our congregation, and you have an opportunity to walk the labyrinth. And then also harpist Christine Tullis is going to be joining us also. She is wonderful. And then you're also welcome to stop by the next day, Thursday, September 8th. We will have the labyrinth still set up. We will have all the inspirational altars set up, so you can pop by anytime on Thursday and just be in the space. It's a wonderful opportunity. Do you want to sign up for our classes and events? You can scan our QR code and sign yourself up. The Unity Marin Prayer Chaplains are here to pray with you. Can we have all the chaplains stand? You'll find one wearing a white prayer stole, and they are more than happy to be at your service. Youth and family. Hello. They're on their way. I can hear them. They're in close, very, very close proximity. They're on their way. Now's the time.
Guys, come on in.
Don't be shy. Woohoo! Oh,
Here they come.
welcome, youth and family.
Hi, you guys.
Woohoo! And let's say our blessing for them.
So we have a blessing. So if everyone wants to stand up, we're going to open our hearts. We're going to open our hands as we bless the children. Look at Burke. And we're going to say together, You are the perfect expression of divine light. We love you just the way you are. And so it is.
And so it is. And thank you, Melissa, for all you do. We appreciate you so much. And Suzanne. And Suzanne also. Thank you, Suzanne. Thank you. And please join me in the prayer for protection. I don't know what he said, but yes. The light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. The presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever we are, God is. And so it is. And please join in singing our prayer for protection.